right after the start, you go up and you go left, past the spectators, you hook a small right, and then it's just open and it's wide. The bottom part was by far the most confusing part for me. A mile and a half, 2 miles in, you're coming off the high-speed straight and you just start to enter these left-right twists, and you're completely surrounded with trees, and the road's narrow. You have no real reference as to where down is or where up is. Everything after mile 1.5 to before signal 4 to the straightaway. After that, I knew I can do it all in my head after that. The speed trap was on a pretty long straight. They call it a straight, but there's a couple little kinks on it, and you brake super hard going into a bridge. And the bridge has these like buttresses on each side that if you hit, you swear the car is going to get cut in half. If things are going right, I'm just thinking about driving. Even comparing it to a bike race, you're never so focused in your life about something, and it's awesome. You finish the day, you're like, I didn't think about tragedy or anything going on in the world at all for 10 minutes today, period. Before Signal Corps, there's like a hairpin left with the triangle, which is like a warning to not go off. I think it's an exclamation point or something. But they're like, that's a cliff, and you're coming as hard as you can. I don't remember how fast, I don't have a speedometer in the car, but it's probably 80 miles an hour. And you're braking, and you're trying to get all your braking done before you turn in for the hairpin. But if something screws up in your braking, and you're trying to brake as late as possible, of course, you're just gonna go right off the end and like off. See you later. You know how dirt gets when all the rocks get swept off and it's super hard packed, it's almost shiny? That's how it was in 2014. You could just haul. People were really scared about it, and I kind of hoped it would be like that this time. But this time, I had tires that were probably even a little better on the dirt, and the car was all over the place, and it freaked me out. And I just said, like, I'm losing all my time here. I'm losing so much time. You could see the experience that Travis and David had on that. They just flew, and they were super confident. They got the car to turn in because they were on the gas and not kind of coasting along. That's the one part of the hill where I know I lost a lot of time. The ribbon of road that kind of just went along the crest of the hill, like the side of the hill. I love that part. When I get off the dirt, you do a couple small turns and you get to that straight. So like, I'm just gonna let it eat. Like, let the car, let it go. Get on it, get on the boost. I felt confident there. And part of that was just, I know the limit on tarmac, but I don't on dirt. So it was kind of refreshing to get back on tarmac and then get back on tarmac in a spot that you could like go all out.
final few turns, Al pushing the Pleasure Evo to its limits. Ripping through the cow pasture, making the final climb to the finish line.
The second run was, I think, better. There's a chance that I overdrove the car a little bit and was a little too aggressive. Sometimes you try to go really hard and you end up going slower because you're not smooth. But I know I was faster on the gravel this time. The car was walking around a lot more, so I know I was faster through a couple other places. I shifted without the clutch the whole time, and one shift that I did, it didn't go into third gear all the way, so I know I made one shifting mistake. It probably cost me half a second. And the launch wasn't quite as good this time. We've been changing it all weekend, and it's different every time. So I think it was faster. I think the run was faster. We'll just see where I end up now. I mean, I made it. The car's in one piece.
In second place, with a time of 6:49.53 in a Mitsubishi Lancer Evo, Alexander Grabel. And in first place, with a record-setting time of 5:44.72, Travis Pastrana.
For 2020 is the next event. I'm definitely going to be there.